Welcome to the Pitmaster Podcast. We're barbecue competition competitors that aim to share information, advice, tips, and tall tales about our favorite pastime. Head over to the pitmasterpodcast.com for all things Pitmasters, or follow us on your favorite social media platform. And now, here are the hosts of the Pitmaster Podcast, the two-time grand champion, SCA World Champion finalist, and barbecue specialist of Smoke Ain't No Joke Barbecue, the Anthony Luan, and the 24-time grand and reserve grand champion, reserve world grand champion, Windover High Roller champion, and the founder of Pitmaster Barbecue Supply Company stores in Utah, the old man himself from Big Johnson's Barbecue, Jesse Johnson.
This is Greg Rempe from the Barbecue Central Show, and you are listening to the Pitmasters Podcast, and they are doing it live.
We'll do it live.
That's right, Bill. I just said that. They're going to do it live.
We'll do it live.
Yes, live. They're going to do it live.
What's up, Pitmasters? How's it going, Jesse?
Good, brother. How you doing on this Tuesday evening?
Not too bad. Got the podcasts going, and then also got a root on the Utah Mammoth playing Vegas Knights tonight, man. Kind of excited about that.
So who won the first game?
The Knights did.
Oh,
but
because are they in Vegas or Utah tonight?
They're in Vegas tonight. So they go 2 there, 2 home, and then if they need to switch, they'll go back to Vegas. I do believe in them back here.
A lot of people are fired up for the series.
Yep. Man, it was a brawl. It was awesome. It's gonna get nasty tonight.
That was next level hockey, I thought.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man, there's a couple contests that went down this weekend. Let's talk about some KCBS stuff before we get into the SCA and the local comp as well. We had the downtown Grandmaster Barbecue Showdown. And it looks like our grand champion was Meat Candy Q, coming in with a 704.011. Fantastic score. RGC is Smokin' Volts Barbecue. Seems like we say their name quite a lot.
They're doing really well right now, right?
Yep. And then the Northern Utah boy Wild West Barbecue landed chicken with a perfect 180.
Josh Lynch and his wife, yep.
Ribs, B-Mac and Barbecue. We got pork as Meat Candy Q. And then, what is it? Brisket LV Bucket List. Good name there. There's 29 teams, 180. There was only one 180, and that was Josh's. And then 2 7-100 scores as well. So,
that's big for Josh. That's going to give him some confidence going to the Blue Compass, I tell you that.
Right. And then we had the barbecue Pit Stop Steaks Championship Series. Nate Benson taking home burger. Nate Benson taking home seafood. Rob Jorgensen taking in steak A. Nate Benson, steak B. Jackpot steak, Casey Casper. And ribs, Mr. Brennan Nelson. So, man.
Continuing on his rib conquest, isn't he?
Right, exactly. But let's talk about this. This was the very first SCA Bring Your Own Ribeye competition.
And the judges they said it was all over the place because you were allowed to marinate or inject your steak before arriving, correct?
You could. I don't think injecting or marinating before was beneficial. I'm not sure if people did. But I do know one of the big things in the judging panel was that some of the steaks were smaller and some people were having to go to the upper portion of the steak to get their sample, so they weren't on the bottom half. So that kind of makes a problem.
And that's a judge thing.
Yeah.
The first several judges, they're taking too big a piece.
Yeah, they really are.
So there's plenty. I don't care how big or small the steak is. If you've got the smaller steak and it's cut in half, just take a sixth of it.
Right.
Don't take a third of it or a quarter of it. Take a sixth of it.
Visualize 5 pieces. Visualize 5 pieces and then just take
Exactly.
the small section out of that. Yep. But as for bringing your own ribeye, I'm still not a fan of it. I do enjoy the chip draw. I do enjoy having everybody on the same level playing field of picking a steak. That is what I do like. So
and the camaraderie that comes with it.
Yep.
I mean, you're in line, you get your chips, you're standing in line, everybody's BSing with each other. It's kind of creates a little bit more community, I think.
Exactly. And then One thing that I really didn't like is that it felt like it spread out the field, and once again the socialization. Not a lot of people came out. Everybody already had their steaks prepped, so they're just kind of hanging out, just doing their thing. And that's what I did like about the SCA. We'd load in, you just show up in order, and you'd stack up in that order you show up. So you're always cooking next to somebody new. You're building friendships, and I feel like that's kind of been lost.
Yeah.
And that was before the bring your own ribeye as well. So, but
and then you had a discount for your entry because you're bringing your own steaks, but it wasn't that substantial, was it?
No. So first place took home $350 because it was a dynamic payout system. So that was kind of disappointing. We knew it was coming, but it wasn't as advertised on the flyer. So that was
advertised at 550, correct?
Correct, yes, at 20 teams. But then we didn't hit the 20 teams, so they only paid out on their dynamic payout of 15 teams. So I think there's still a lot of room to work with. I think only way to make this grow is finding something in between. I don't know what the answer is because I do understand the price of beef prices and everything like that, but
through the roof, you know.
Yeah, so you being a promoter, you understand that process. You got to buy trophies, you got to rent the venue, you got to rent restrooms if they're not available, and then still have money to pay out. Most promoters have been going upside down because of the steak prices.
I mean, I had Harmon sponsor one, so I didn't have any cost. That was a sponsorship, and I don't know what Steve's sponsorship was with Creekstone, but that's gone away.
Yes,
but the steak cost is significant. I mean, it's depending on how many teams, $2,000 to $4,000.
Right, and I don't know if it's a matter of teaming up with a local butcher, saying, "Hey, let's get everybody to go to Snyder's." I'm just putting them out there because they're a pretty local butcher.
Yeah.
But if they are registered for the SCA event, maybe they get a discount on steaks from that butcher, something to be able to help offset everything. Obviously, the butcher doesn't need to lose money, but there has to be something in between. But
when we did the New Year's Eve comp, I just got a discount from Bingham's, and from what the teams told me, that was some of the best steaks that they'd ever had at a competition.
Yeah. So, I think it's just a matter of just finding that. I think there's still room to grow. There's a lot of feedback going on. This is a test season. It's nothing concrete, but there is going to be 16 competitions that will have the feedback involved. So looking forward to that. But speaking
of washes out.
Yep. And speaking of state competitions, there is one coming up May 9th at American Fork. That is going to be a traditional SCA event. Pick your own steak, $1,000 payout. Also associated with the barbecue competition. And then also the weekend of May 1st and 2nd is Sholo, traditional SCA, but the payouts on that are going to be $1,500 for first place. And then in between both of those comps, there is the Blue Compass event that we will be participating in.
We got 21 teams right now. We haven't added any in the last week, but 21 teams makes it a qualifier. And if the Blazer 47 doesn't happen, that's going to make it an automatic into the Jack.
Awesome. That is so awesome. But yeah, we got a lot going on. This was a very full week of cooking, and then it's only going to get more packed as the season goes on. Yep. But I have noticed, thank you to all of our listeners, we are getting an increased volume on the YouTube. People are watching YouTube this live, and then also audio is going up, and then people are visiting the website though. So thank you all for the support there, and we are seeing those numbers, and we really, really do appreciate you hanging out with us an hour a week.
Yeah, and do us a favor, hop in there and like and subscribe and make some comments. It really helps the algorithm, helps the podcast grow and build and become self-sustaining.
Yep. Looks like you're gonna have 22 teams. The Dunions are saying that they haven't signed up, but they plan on being there.
I already counted them in the 21.
Oh, God.
and you, obviously.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so we have Andy and Keith from Rambler. We got Rambler.
Rambler.
Yep. Sauces and rubs. We got to ask them the story behind that. And then
Rambling
also,
man, baby, just a rambling man.
And then they do compete as well.
Oh.
They have stepped out of the game for a minute, but plan on making a triumph return as well. So,
Well, Andy Allen has the Utah profile down pat because he won half the competitions when we did the Wendover,
right.
the Wendover competition. He won half of them. And he's like, he misses those paydays, I'm sure.
Right? Yeah, yeah. Everybody misses those paydays.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go talk to them and just get caught up and see what's going on.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
This is the single best investment you can make to become a better cook.
Thermopen 1 is the best thermometer I've ever had.
My thermometer of choice is ThermoWorks.
When it comes to quality that I can trust, this is the company that I go to over and over again.
There may be other thermometers out there, but there aren't other Thermopen.
Rooftop BBQ's in the house. How's it going, guys?
What's up? How you guys doing?
Good. Hey, thanks for joining tonight, man. And also, thanks for stopping by. These guys made a visit of, I guess, upper north Utah and was able to come, and they stopped by at ThermoWorks Day, said hi to me, and then swung by the Pitmasters Supply Company and said hello to Jesse and dropped off some sweet gifts. I tried all the sauces right before the show. Jesse hasn't tasted them. He's going to taste them throughout the show. But honestly, I am vibing on the Kansas City Sweet Heat.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, that was our original one that we sold that one under Rooftop BBQ for a few years.
Right.
And it became Green Mountain Grill's Pitmaster sauce for a few years. And it's been around the block, but all the other ones are brand new.
And then the Tennessee whiskey. Dude, you can taste the whiskey in there.
Yeah. No,
I don't know what kind of whiskey's in there. I don't know if you want to tell us, but man.
I mean, it's got to be a Tennessee whiskey, so.
It's not Pappy's.
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, leave it at that.
Yeah,
Can't yet.
that Kansas City Sweet is bomb. That's so good.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
I'm gonna try the Tennessee whiskey.
So tell us a little bit about where you guys decided to. You competed for many years and did very, very well.
Ooh,
and then you kind of
that's good.
stepped back a little bit, career path, things like that. But then what pushed you into we're going to go into the Rambler brand. Tell us a little bit about the Rambler, where that came from, and then just going forward.
Yeah, so I think it's year 17, but we competed pretty heavy for about 15 years. Then my exit plan on that was always when my kids started sports. I knew that would be a tough transition to do both, so I kind of stepped back a little bit, and I'll still jump in there once in a while just to keep it going. But that was kind of the exit plan. And as far as the sauce, I mean, we've been doing that sauce for years now, but never really. It was always kind of just like a little side project,
Yeah.
We had like 2 or 3 stores that we'd sell it out, and I'd order a batch whenever someone needed some more. And then Jason Baker, Green Mountain Grills, who I've worked with for a number of years, he's like, you really just got to make a push on this. Like, this is the best sauce I've ever had. It's worthy to be out there, so you really need to do that. And my whole thought behind that was, we had that one sauce, but in order to be successful, you really need a brand. You need a full lineup. So go ahead.
I'm gonna step in here real quick on that note. We've always been about the road. We love being out, going across the country, trying all different kinds of flavor profiles all across the United States. Hence the name Rambler. We rambled all over this country, and we wanted to cover those profiles and those areas and try to make sauces and rubs from those areas.
Yeah, our version of, they're not exact,
Absolutely.
but I've had Memphis rubs, and I want to make my own stuff like that.
We've had our mustard sauce for a number of years.
Yeah, we've been
now.
catering with that mustard sauce for a lot of years.
And the other one, the main rub, one of the rubs we've had for a long, long time is the California Coastline, which is generally a tri-tip rub, but you can use it on beef. Yeah. So.
Yeah. What are you thinking, Jesse?
Tell you what, Kansas City Sweet, awesome. Tennessee whiskey's got a nice bite to it. That honey mustard, that's really good, dude. That's really good.
Great on pulled pork and turkey and chicken. It's that honey mustard. or the mustard.
Yeah. There's more and more people coming in looking for mustard sauces all the time.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. We got burnt out on the whole sweet, caramel tomato sauce on pulled pork. Kind of stopped eating pulled pork for a while, honestly, but that mustard sauce is a game. So
yeah. So let's hit the rewind button a little bit too, while Jesse continues to try. How did you guys get into barbecue? Where did that bug come into your life?
Okay, so back in the beginning, me and another teammate, we got a smoker from our friend's backyard that they were giving away. Made some horrible barbecue on it for a few months. There's a local competition about 15 minutes from our house, and we each chipped in, entered it. We actually hired Keith here to make a smoker for us.
Well, actually, that smoker wouldn't even hold smoke because it had holes in the.
Well, that's
smoker.
not the one you made though.
But I patched that one up. I put steel on, it covered it where it would actually hold smoke, and then we made a smoker.
Yeah, the original plan was to actually make our own smoker, but it was taking too long. Competition was coming up, so we bought something on Craigslist, and it was god awful.
That'll learn you. That'll learn you.
Firebox about that big.
Yeah.
About a 6-foot barrel for the actual
barrel
cook.
was huge.
You couldn't get enough fire going in there to keep that thing hot. So it was a rough night.
But actually, I wasn't on the team yet. I came over to the actual competition. I fell in love with it, and that's kind of when I jumped in.
Yeah.
And we actually won an award.
Yeah.
We won something that night.
We won enough money to enter Mesquite.
Yeah.
Oh.
Our first KCBS, and that was
a big comp back in the day.
We did pretty well. We got
we won first place in People's Choice that first year,
and fourth in pork.
Yeah.
And our first KCBS, and then it was kind of game on from there.
We were hooked.
Yeah.
We're in, and we were like, we got to do this all the time.
And then we started doing it. And then,
right. For all you old school pitmasters that got the bug from the TV show, The Pitmasters, Mesquite was featured on that
show. First episode. Yeah.
It was a $40,000 contest.
Yeah. Nice, at a nice hotel that you can hang out by the pool in between. So it was good.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was, I remember that first one. That's when I first met the guys at Big Papa Smokers, and they had that big truck with a refrigerator.
Yeah, they had a reefer truck that
they were hanging out in.
They had couches back there and everything. But that was before Sterling was really cooking with them. It was kind of just like the warehouse guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that contest was hot.
Yeah.
When did they do it? When was it normally ran?
Labor Day, I think.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So it was
the year that my
it was winding down, but still.
No, it's not in Mesquite.
Well, the thing with Mesquite is that a storm would roll through every single year. They those summer thunderstorms coming through and just
you'd see awnings blowing all the way across the
you didn't want to go to your hotel room in the middle of the night. But I saw a bunch of broken ceramic.
Yeah, I got lucky the year that I only cooked it 1 year, and the weather was perfect. It was hot, but you go back to your room, go to bed, come back, cook your stuff hot and fast.
Yeah, it's 110 at midnight. Yeah.
Yep.
On the way back that first year, my serpentine belt broke on my truck, and so we're laying out in the hot desert trying to repair my truck, and on the side of the freeway. That was bad.
Oh man. Yeah, so then you guys just did the barbecue thing for what? Like you said, you're 17 years, right? Is that where we're at now?
Yeah.
Nice. And then
he'd come up to Wendover and take everybody's money and go home.
Right.
I think you won that contest half the time we had it.
I think I might have won it 3 years in RGC, or maybe won it 2 years and got an RGC the other year. I don't know, something like that. Maybe
I thought you'd won it like 4 years.
I think I might have won 3 and RGC'd at 1, something like that. But.
Out of 8 years.
And then Ziggett, right? Ziggett.
Oh,
yeah.
Zizix.
Yeah. Zizix.
Yeah, and then he won the rest. So
it always seemed like for me, you guys never seen me there because I was an iron worker at the time and I was working all the time, and I got to go to very few competitions. But I did and I think I was a jinx on Andy because the one year I went, we didn't win anything, and I was so mad. I was like, I'm never coming to this one ever. Yeah, it's all my fault. Blame me. I'm the kicking dog.
Right.
Although I was there the year we went down to Texas and took their money down there. That was fun. What was that, Cedar Park? Yeah, that was a good one. We had fun down there.
Yeah.
And then we had a tornado the day, or like right in the county next over on that event. There was a tornado, like pretty bad. Yeah.
Good times.
Oh man. Yeah.
A lot of tails on the road, man.
Yeah, that's pretty much the story behind Ramblin'.
Yeah.
Got it. And then so you guys decided to, obviously you went and worked with GMG and have a great career with them, but then you decided, hey, we're gonna do some rubs. Tasting these rubs. So we have our tasting group, but quite often we talk a lot about different rubs. But when I'm getting off these rubs that you handed off today is that they are a neutral ground. You can use them in competition, but they're also great for backyard. Is that what you guys were going for with these with this line?
I think the Hot Honey Peach could be a pretty worthy comp rub. Yeah. The Texas two-step, I'd like to try that with some comp brisket. Honestly, I haven't competed. I mean, I do backyard barbecue with it. Great,
and the packaging on the Texas two-step is money.
Thanks.
Yeah,
that's gonna sell really well. So I'm glad I didn't do my my order with Susie and Todd, because now I can order these on the next order. Probably get that done tomorrow or Thursday.
Yep.
But Anthony said the Georgia was hot.
Yeah. It has a kick to it, but then I think when you use it, it probably settles down.
It burns off a lot.
Cooks down.
Yeah.
Heat goes away.
Yeah, that Texas two-step. Well, I fell in love with Texas brisket probably about 10 years ago.
Ooh, here comes the heat. It's the perfect. It's the perfect timing. You don't want that heat up front. You want that heat to kind of linger and come in like 8 to 10 seconds out.
Yeah, we had to make it. It's hot honey, so we had to add a little bit of heat to it, but I think it's pretty balanced. It's not gonna, I've had a lot hotter rubs, put it that way.
That's really nice, guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's really nice.
But yeah, we fell in love with Texas barbecue, and we've been cooking salt and pepper briskets for a number of years. Just love it.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of those guys, they're not doing salt and pepper; they're doing Lowry's and a lot of other.
Yeah. Man, my favorite. Yeah, my favorite pulled pork. My favorite pulled pork is just an SPG.
Yeah,
pork.
That's how I've been cooking it too. Just that. I actually wrap it in butcher paper too, and it just turns out great.
Yeah,
and doing ribs the same way. Sometimes I just want a salt and pepper rib.
Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't done too many ribs that way. I'm always pretty traditional, but I don't cook ribs for me. I usually cook them for everybody else because ribs are not one of my favorites. I eat them, but they're not my favorite. I'd rather
something's wrong with you.
You go ahead and say that.
How do you not like a really good St. Louis cut pork rib?
I don't know, Jesse. I think it has something to do with my hands, honestly.
Because you have small hands.
No, it's because I don't like stuff on my hands. So I wash my hands 100 times a day. Just if I feel sticky, they wash them. So maybe it has something to do with just sticky hands.
So do you eat chicken wings?
I do, but I wash my hands. But I usually eat dry chicken wings.
You're gonna have
usually
to
dry.
You'll have to be a IBCA judge, then you can eat it all.
Using utensils.
Yeah. I guess that's why I like judging steaks too, right? A little knife and fork.
Well, I can't wait to try the California coastline, because that's herbaceous, man.
Yeah,
that's gonna be.
It's got some great powder in it, cilantro, SPG, a couple other things.
Yeah, that's awesome. So
Dude,
I really think you guys
great on tri-tip.
Yeah, it's a killer tri-tip rope.
Yeah, I think you guys did a really good packaging on the designs as well. They're very consistent. They do pop out. I think
it's because they're Pitmaster designed.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think they tell a story. They tell a story on them. So that's what I do like about them, is that there is a story connected to all of them. You have the road in every single one for the Rambler part, and then you have the city backdrops or the Texas backdrops. I think you guys did very well on the design of those.
Yeah, we really wanted it. I mean, this whole product line is a story. We want to kind of cover, all of America's barbecue heritage, highlight them, and kind of, it's not super authentic, but I'm going to say it's a take on what we've tried traveling across the country. So
yeah, let's talk a little bit to the backyard guys.
Sure.
The guy that's just getting into it, he wants to cook some chicken and ribs for just a Saturday afternoon. Which route would you go? What are some pro tips that you'd give? Some cons that you would try to stay away from? What is just some traditional backyard tips for these guys that are getting into cooking?
Honestly, with meat prices these days, I'd start with some of the cheaper cuts just to start learning. Pork butt, super forgiving. Start with the pork butt. You can throw pretty much any seasoning will go on a pork butt too. You don't have to be super particular. Salt and pepper, sweet rubs, spicy rubs. That's a good way to learn and start learning the feel and the color and the wrapping process, and it's pretty hard to mess up if you just take it high enough. So,
and just getting to know your equipment, what you're cooking on, that's key, man.
Yeah.
If you don't know you could have a $5,000 smoker, and if you don't know how to use it, you're gonna make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, for sure.
We all have.
Yeah.
So,
it's been a portion too.
Yeah, I think my first pork butt I took to like 165 degrees, thinking that's what temperature to take it to.
That's my first 8 briskets were inedible. I'm telling you.
Medium rare.
Yeah.
They weren't burnt. They were underdone. It's like I pulled my truck with them.
Oh man, that's bad. Use them as that's bad. But so talking to the guy that's walking into Jesse's barbecue shop, what are you gonna tell him? What are gonna be the combos? What are you gonna some tips to give him? Because there's a lot of stuff online, and a lot of people can get overwhelmed, especially the 3-2-1 method. That worked for a while for beginners, but I feel like you're overkilling, wasting too much time, and overcooking your ribs anyway. So what is something that some rubs of your line and sauces, and what would you put those on for a guy who's good to do something this weekend?
So the Memphis rub, I've cooked a lot of ribs with that. I do some baby backs with that. You could go pretty much as heavy as you want with that one. Just pretty much whatever will stick. And then what I'll typically do with that, I won't wrap those ribs at all. I'll just smoke them, keep them going. And then I'll mix some of that Memphis rub with a little bit of oil and vinegar. And I'll use that to baste.
Yeah.
And I'll just keep basting that and basting it and basting, building up flavor until they're tender. And, there's no wrapping. It's pretty straightforward. It's probably a 4-hour cook on those. And that's an easy way to do it. So you don't have to try to get the wrap.
And that'll give you your Memphis dry rub ribs, because that's what they do in Memphis. Is almost all the ribs you get in Memphis is dry rub.
Yep.
Sauce on the side.
Sauce, and just keep in that.
Yep.
I mean, if you want to hit it with a little bit of Tennessee whiskey at the end, the whole glaze wouldn't hurt it, but it's also very good dry.
Memphis, that's a good rub. That's really good.
Yeah, that's our sleeper rub. I know it's probably going to be our least selling rub, just because people don't recognize Memphis as much as some of the other areas. But that goes. I use that like crazy at home. I'll put on potatoes, vegetables, chicken.
Yeah,
chicken wings. It's a killer on chicken. It's like some dry rub chicken wings.
Yeah. So Memphis they're known a lot for the dry pork products. Kind of, and then the Carolinas are more your traditional mustards and salt and pepper, garlic as well too, and mustard. Yeah. So, but Memphis is. I feel like that is a very strong region for good barbecue.
Yeah, it's completely different than anything else. It's got a lot of that Memphis rub has a lot of Greek influence in there.
Yeah. There's a lot of Greek influence in Memphis.
So there's thyme, a lot of spices in that. That rub's probably got the most of it. I mean, when we made the recipe, it's a long list. So
it's one of the reasons why we felt it was very important to cover that region, because
it doesn't get a lot of love, but it makes some killer barbecue.
Right. And if you guys were going to design a rub for Utah, you guys been in Utah for a few hours now. What way would you guys go?
I'll probably go back to what I was cooking in Wendover.
I think a lot's changed. You'd have to do like a soda-based cola,
dirty
cola and
soda.
sugar. Yeah, dirty soda rub, a Dr. Pepper rub or something.
Ice cream and sodas.
Yeah, and cookies.
We
Yeah,
actually thought about Utah. We were toying around with the idea. We couldn't really come up with much. I don't know. What would you guys do?
Honestly, for fun, for the backyard guys to just try something new, I would almost lean towards something like a cherry cola, style barbecue rub. Honestly,
not a bad
cherry
idea.
cola, Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Cherry cola rub with the Dr. Pepper sauce on it.
Yeah, something along those lines. Yeah, man, sold. Yeah.
Put a little vanilla. Put a little vanilla in there to cover the ice cream. Yeah.
Exactly.
Brought to you by Swig.
Yeah, so you guys did the tour today. Yeah, you guys stopped by ThermoWorks and Pitmasters Supply Company, and then did you guys make it to Snyder Brothers as well?
Yeah, we've been all over. Yeah, gave them some sauces. They're gonna be playing with them. So
awesome.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good, and all our stuff's coming from. You guys just had Susie and Todd on there.
No.
So all our stuff's gonna be coming out of their warehouse right out of St. George. So
Patio
we're
Provisions.
excited to partner with them.
Yeah, the Patio Provision. So that is awesome. That is awesome to team up them with that powerhouse as well too. So
yeah, they know their stuff. So we're excited to work with them.
Being right in your guys' backyard, you already get your stuff pretty quickly.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
And then we didn't cover, where are you guys based out of?
We're down in Southern California.
Yeah.
Right. What part of Southern California? Are you down there with Derek Waltz and everything?
People like people know Temecula, Riverside, kind of in between there. San Diego. Basically we're hour and a half from LA, an hour and a half from San Diego, kind of smack there in the middle. Yeah.
Right. That's not a big barbecue country, is it? For comps.
No, but it was for a while.
Yeah.
A lot of great teams came out there. Like Matt Dalton, Left Coast Q was, and
We were members of the West Coast offense.
Yeah, Sterling and Steph and Jerry Aguilar. You guys know,
right? That guy, he's a beast.
Oh my gosh,
he's just right down the street,
burning and looting, man. Yeah.
People haven't seen Step Out for a long time. Was simply marvelous.
He was in Vegas.
Yeah.
And Bullhead. He was in Vegas and Bullhead. Yeah.
I haven't seen Steph forever.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you think? Reason why I was segued into this a little bit. What do you think is slowing down competition barbecue in California? I feel like other cities are picking up, but I feel like California has really slowed down on the competition.
I think it's just
for teams.
Yeah,
it's so expensive. like just for promoters, for one thing, to rent a space, like all that's more expensive than everything's more expensive in California. Put it that way.
Right. And you're only allowed so much pork per day too, right?
He had a catering job the other day and he couldn't even find a pork butt at Winco. So
I went to 3 different Wincos. Nobody had it. So
really?
The ones I got were horrible.
Wow.
Just terrible.
Wow.
So
yes.
I think prize money, entry fees, all that, and then it's been rough. I mean, hopefully we get. I think the big thing is we need to start getting the public more involved.
Oh yeah.
We need to get more sponsors because there's a public there. We need to do a better job. I'm not a promoter, so I can't, say too much, but I think we need to do a better job of entertaining the crowd, and that way that sponsors see that.
Because that's what we're doing with Blue Compass is teams can vend after turn-ins, and then make some of their money back and feed the public, and that gets the public more involved. Because that's the one thing that's missing with the KCBS. It's getting the public involved because everybody's like, we want to come out and try all the barbecue. I'm like,
then they get there.
That was one of the things when we first got started. They had that People's Choice thing.
Everyone did People's Choice,
and people wanted to go, and that gave them an opportunity to come up and try it and vote, and it got the people involved.
Yeah, and we honestly funded our first few years of barbecue by doing People's Choice. We were making enough in the beginning. That's the thing, you can't get new teams involved if they're not winning and making their money back. They can only go
right.
How many competitions can you spend $300 or $1,000 on, not make your money before your wife tells you you're not doing that anymore.
Right.
Right.
Well,
So our first competitions, we vended every single one, and we weren't winning. We went a little bit here and there, but we were making our money back
And learning.
and practicing doing that. And then eventually you've done enough of those, you start winning, and then we slowly taper off. But we would still vend every once in a while.
Right. And I think Jesse has the right game plan, but he just needs to figure out how to get more people involved, and that is a barbecue community in whole. But having more backyard competitions, just ribs and chicken are going to get people to come out and try. It's not that expensive. It's going to give them the taste of the competition level. And then if they want to move up to a bigger competition, I think that is the strategy to be able to keep this going. But the hard part is getting the little guy to wanting to come out to a competition and actually give it a good go. I think that's where we're struggling in the community, is trying to figure out how to make that happen.
Well, our first competition for the backyard series, we had Josh got his first GC, and then we had a first-time team. His name Anthony Chacon. He got an RGC on his very first competition. He's hooked.
Awesome.
He's totally hooked.
Yeah, but I think it's just trying to figure out how to get those smaller events throughout most regions.
Yeah, I think
there's just, for example, here in northern Utah, Jesse has the barbecue side. Barbecue Pit Stop has the steak side. Northern Utah is covered. Southern Utah, not so much. Anything north of Salt Lake almost is really hard, all the way up to the Pacific Northwest. You get a few major competitions, but there's not a lot of opportunities for the little guys to give it a go.
Yeah, we're in talks right now to try to do something in Cedar City with another guy. Yeah, so that's nothing set in stone, but there's talk. So we'd like to get some big there. But honestly, I've talked to other promoters, and back when they did Mesquite, this was the best People's Choice way to do it, because it was easy on the teams. The public loved it. They would give each team a pork butt or two, however many one or two, whatever they wanted. They would cook that. They would turn it in after awards, and in a full-size pan. And then they would take a number, put it on it. All those trays got taken to a main tent, and then the people got to go in there, and they were blind, which I love, because to me, there's nothing worse than someone bringing out all their family, voting for them, and then they win because they're the local team.
We've seen that happen a lot.
Yeah. But this way, it was all blind. You do your best, you make your magic on it, turn in, and then they just have some teenagers, whoever volunteers, and they're basically the people that go there. They buy a ticket, or they buy like a 10-pack of tickets. They get to pick 10 to try, and then they pick their vote. They just put their ticket in their little cup there, and the teams, it's all hands off for them. They still can go clean up. They're not worried about vending, trying to get to awards, and there's still people trying to get food. And so to me, that was the best route, and the public got to try a bunch of stuff, and easy for the teams, nothing out of their pockets. And so
but the times have changed, guys. We can't just turn in pork butts into a random selection of people. The health department shuts that down now.
The health department frowns on that.
Yeah, so it's tough to be able to do that, because personally, for me, for like Jesse's competition that's coming up, I won't be vending because, one, I got to go through and get a food handler's permit, and then I got to get the permit to be able to vend, and it's just not worth it to me to do one event, right? So that's the hard part. Even though there's other people that will be doing it, it's just hard for me to be able to just go through all those hoops to be able to make it happen. Which
it really depends on the county, because I know some of them, if it's 2 ounces or under, then they're a lot more lenient on it. I know we ran into that at different places. If you're not doing like a full platter or ribs, or if it's a 2 ounce, which they're pretty strict on, the requirements drop a lot. So I don't know, but it's going to depend on the county. Honestly, nothing ever happens in LA County because they're so strict.
You can't even have smokers. I've talked to a few people in LA. It's hard to even have smokers on the premises.
In LA. They're pretty strict. So, a lot of that's going to depend on the county. But I just found that to be the best route, easy for the teams, and
that's something I probably should have a conversation with the Weber County Health Department about that, if we can do a 2 ounce sampling cup, and then because this year we kind of already have it set for Blue Compass, and I like that idea. It's bringing a sponsor for some pork, and then letting the teams turn those in, do a half pan, because it's one pork butt will fit in a half pan, and then let people sample out of that and go from there.
You put them on chafing dishes, and then you don't
keep
have to
them
worry
hot.
about them. So
Keep them hot.
it's worth a shot if you allow it, but it's a good route to go.
It's definitely more fair. We would see some teams show up with 50 family members, and we're like, well, we know who's winning People's Choice today. It was just like it was a given,
Yeah.
I like the blind aspect of it.
I do too. That's a good idea.
We should try this, Jesse. We should try this next year. We should have a quarterly cook. We'll start off. So every quarter, you will just show up to the Pitmaster Supply Company and we'll cook one meat, ribs, and then we'll wait next to the next quarter, chicken. Just spreads it out, and then we'll have a grand champion at the end of the year versus having to stress everybody. And anybody can jump in whenever they want. Like, okay, I can't make that one, but I would like to see where my chicken is, and so they'll go cook the chicken point. It'll just spread it out, make it less stressful and just enjoyable.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's hard. I hate to reminisce, but those first years back in, what was it, 2010, 12, 13, like, man, it was booming. People were having a good time at night. Honestly, it might have gotten too serious.
Yeah.
I think that took a lot out of it. But people got more serious because it got more expensive.
Yeah.
Well, and more money got involved as far as prize money.
Yeah. So, you have to take it more serious at that point. But back, when entry fees were $100, $150, and a brisket cost you, no one was cooking Wagyu back then, but maybe a few people, but you're, $80,
$100 tops.
You're like $40 brisket.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So it was fun back then. And, it was more of a community.
Yeah, we were a tight knit group. All of the West Coast guys. We when we'd have a competition on Fridays, we'd do a big potluck, and you usually show up at Hickory and Spice.
Yeah,
Rick Mice cooked the best onion rings you've ever seen in your life. Bigger than
so good.
So good.
I heard a lot about these onion rings, man. Never had them.
But
I mean, I don't want to downplay what's going on today because we have been out of it, but I do miss those days. And we're going to be doing a big one. We're going to do that one out in New Mexico. The prize money was just too hard to pass up. So we might get it handed to us, but it's worth a shot.
Yeah. It's worth a shot. Anybody's day, right? As long as you can cook the best barbecue you can to turn into the boxes, then it's a crapshoot.
Yeah, it's a double header, and so it gives us 2 days, and they're paying pretty deep, so it'll be good. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. So well, maybe we just need a resurgence of the Pitmasters show.
That would be good.
To get people back into like, whoa, this is still a thing. Yeah, it is still a thing.
Absolutely.
I don't know what it was on Netflix, something where it was kind of like Pitmasters, but it was high school students in Texas.
Yeah, that was on like the Food Network or the Travel America or something along those lines.
Yeah, that was a good little series. Like I feel like you just need something. The problem when they moved into the other format is no one saw all the fun.
Yeah.
It turned it into a competition versus the first season, like people joking around, hanging out, like that. That's what really grew the community is
all the smack talking.
Yeah, just people sitting around. I mean, it's just like a camping trip. Everyone's sitting around a fire having a good time. So
yeah.
We need a
well, and the Friday potluck used to be that always happened. Even in Utah, we used to do the Friday night potluck. So for Blue Compass, we're going to do a Friday night hot dog competition.
Ooh, nice.
So we're providing the hot dogs. Teams come in and dress them up however they want and turn them in, and then the Blue Compass employees are going to actually go to be the judges. So it'll be interesting.
We had this is I don't know why I thought this, but we had one of our first competitions. It was at a casino, and they had a gas station attached to the casino.
Yeah.
And they had a competition that Friday night where you had to buy you could use your own seasonings, but every ingredient had to come from the gas station.
See, I keep saying this. I think it'd be so much fun to be able to do that in SCA. You have to turn in your receipt with every ingredient just to prove that you actually bought it at a gas station. How awesome. I think that is such an awesome idea.
People came up with some crazy stuff,
Yeah.
cans of tuna. They were buying all sorts of stuff. But
Oh man, yeah.
Tuna barbecue.
yeah. So
break out the spam.
Yeah, man, yeah.
I think some people turned in spam, and there's not a lot of meat choices at the gas station. So.
Yep.
Right, not a lot of protein choices. Yeah, you have to get creative.
So, I like. I don't know. I just like seeing different stuff. I think
Right.
for promoters, I think changing things up would be beneficial as far as
Yeah.
how everything's looking and doing, and
Well, talk about that a little bit, Jesse. Is obviously you're the promoter of on the barbecue side here in Utah. Is it just difficult to be able to find that groove, to find new people? Like
Yeah, because the backyard competitions aren't growing. We're struggling to get 10 teams for a backyard competition. We lowered the price on it, made it easier for people to enter, and we're still giving away, $600, $700, $800 in prizes. And if we don't have 10 teams that are paying $100 a piece, it's we're going in the hole.
Yeah.
Are you doing any kind of people's choice at those?
We're not. No.
I keep going back to that, but I think people going into this is just my mentality, but people going into those the first time we did it, we brought a lot of family. We wanted them to see what we're doing. We were excited about it. I think having something where even if they know they are not the best barbecuer and they might not win, being able to please people, the crowd, is a highlight for them. They'll be hooked just by that. Just having a random person try their barbecue and say, "Oh, that's amazing."
Yeah, give them some feedback.
Yeah, I think that's a huge thing. Rather than doing a competition, maybe you don't get a call, and then it's like, well, that wasn't that fun. But I think not getting a call, but feedback where people are like, "That was great."
Well, Josh, who just got the perfect 180, his very first competition, he was DAL.
Oh yeah.
So part of that, I said, okay, so the last place team is going to get a one-on-one with me.
Oh, there you go. Turn it around.
To help turn you around, get you going in the right direction, and now a couple years later, getting perfect scores.
That's a great idea.
Another thing we've done before is like mentorship programs, where you have a pro team come out and help a rookie team.
Yeah,
that's a really good idea.
Yeah, we should have a pro-am.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, take a pro team, tie them in with a backyarder, and let them go from there.
Yeah, so we did that.
That's a really good idea.
Well, the thing is so hear me out on this one. Do like a chicken and ribs, just straight backyard, but the pro guy does his ribs and right next to this guy that's just the amateur. And then, go through the same process together and just show the difference between a pro and an amateur. And then they get scored as a whole group, have to figure out how to turn it in, but to be able to turn them in, to be able to kind of get a score together would be dope. That would be fun.
Yeah.
That would be way fun. Do a pro-am cook. And it would be like the backyard guys would sign up. They don't know who they're going to get. And then it's just a chip draw, who you go and cook with.
Well, and then but here's the thing: you got the pro teams. I mean, they're busy. I mean,
true.
In Utah, it's like, how do you get those guys to come in and mentor? Another 10 teams. So I need 10 pro teams.
Yeah,
there's not a lot of those guys that'll do it. But
the way we did it, because I don't know, it was a long time ago, but we had a group called SoCal Meetup, MEAT. And this was probably my third year, and we were just so in love with barbecue that we started this group. We'd invite people backyard, and we do like free little classes. We were doing a lot. We were doing a lot of different stuff. There's like Meat Inc. was part of it back then. I remember Meat Inc. Aaron. But we had a good group doing that, and then we did our first meetup contest. Jerry was there. Actually, I think Jerry won the first one. He wasn't even cooking his first pro, but I think he won that first SoCal meetup. But anyways, so we would do that, and there's like 5 of us pro teams, and we didn't go to each. We didn't have our own team to mentor, but we'd have all these backyard cooks, and we would pretty much give them all the information. There's 5 of us just walking around the whole time, like, oh, you might want to trim that, check that. It's basically free cooking class, but they were cooking actually.
That's actually a really awesome idea too.
So you don't need one team for everyone, but if you could get 3 or 4 guys that are willing to donate their time to grow the sport, which is what we all want.
Yeah. I like that idea.
We might have to try that because our 5 Points location is going to have their first anniversary when we do their competition in June. We'll get a handful of the pro teams come around and walk through and help and mentor.
Yeah,
that's a really good idea.
I like that idea a lot. That is awesome.
They're not really cheating. They're kind of just, they're not touching any of the food. They're not giving them any sauces or seasoning. They're just like, hey, careful with that, or you might want to try this instead of that. And,
definitely.
So it helps a lot.
I like that idea. Heck yeah, that is awesome. Dang, guys, you guys gave a lot of tips and helps with this.
Been in this a long time.
On the barbecue side things for the competitions, and hopefully we can take some of those ideas and run with them and make things happen, and maybe some of our listeners can do that as well. But
just grow the sport more and more.
Social media too, like more people see it, might want to do it, get people involved.
Right. Well, cool, guys. Thank you so much for coming and joining us on the show. Can you let people know where to purchase your product and being able to follow and maybe ask some questions and get some cooking tips from you guys as well?
Well, the best place to buy it is Pitmaster Supply.
We'll have it in next week, I promise.
Yeah. As soon as they get that order, they'll have it. We'll still be selling online. It's going to be cheaper through the stores because you don't worry about shipping, but Rambler,
and if you're in Salt Lake, go to Snyder's.
There's two. And right now we're just starting out, so if you guys got a store that you think we fit in, hit us up. You can email us at info@ramblerbbq.com. We're trying to go nationwide with this. And then, if you want to check out more of our story or buy our products online, it's just ramblerbbq.com.
Sweet. Perfect. Well, cool. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We do really, really appreciate it. And thank you for taking the time and coming and visiting today. That's huge. That is very awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah.
It's expensive right now to drive around with the price of diesel, but
right.
I'm driving a hybrid right now. So
perfect.
A little bit easier.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate it. And we'll catch you guys on the flip side. Yep.
Take care.
Take care, guys.
See ya. Bye.
Thanks, Andy and Keith.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.